and girls. Today we're going to look at Module 4, Lesson 2, which is the relationship of multiplication and division. On Friday, we looked at the relationship between addition and subtraction. So I think we're going to see a lot of similarities in today's lesson from Friday's lesson. Let's look at the student outcomes. Students build and clarify the relationship of multiplication and division by evaluating, what's that word? Identities, such as A divided by B times B equals A. So when I divide and then multiply by the same number, I get back my original number. Same rules as addition and subtraction. This is when I divided then multiplied. Suppose if I multiply and then divide by the same number, do I still get my identity? Yes. Now, I have a problem with how they wrote that. Can anybody think of an exception of when that won't work? Give you a hint. A certain value of B will make that not true. Zero, that's right. I do not believe that will work when B equals 0. So B cannot equal 0 for that to work. Okay? Let's try some. Let's take a look. Right now on your paper, draw a tape diagram that will represent 8 divided by 2 and a tape diagram that will represent 3 times 2. So go ahead and draw that now. Draw a tape diagram. Those are the key words. No circles or groups or anything. So let's see. So I have 8. I'm going to divide it by 2. So this represents 8. So if I divide it by 2, I divide it by 2, that's 4. So I took 8, divided it into 2 groups, got 4 in each group. What about if I drew it this way? So here's my unit 8. Did I set to divide it by 4? Yes. And I got 2. One is example of partitive, and one is an example of measurement, just like we did earlier in the year.
That second one was the one I didn't know. I was going to ask you.
So for B, 3 times 2. So let's take a look at that. So I have 3 times 2. So I have 3. So my answer is 6. So 3 2 times is 6. So we can use tape diagrams to represent multiplication and division. I'm going to ask you to put your pens and pencils down. We're actually not going to follow along with the notes today. I'm going to ask you to follow along with the board and then write in some notes, okay? So just put your pencils down because this is not in your notes. So here I built a tape diagram to represent 9 units. I divided the 9 units into 3 equal groups. What is an expression? Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. So what is an expression that I could write to represent that tape diagram?
3 times 3.
Well, but what did I start with? I started with 9, and then what did I do to it? Exactly. I had 9, and I divided by 3. So now evaluate. Remember, evaluate means to solve. So what is 9 divided by 3? 3. Yep. Okay? But now I'm going to take that 3. So I have 9 divided by 3. I'm going to take that 3 and multiply it by 3. So let's change our expression. We had 9 divided by 3. But then what did I do to it there? Multiplied it by 3. And what did I get when I multiplied it by 3? It went right back to 9. So when I divided and multiplied by the same number, what did I get? My original number back again. That's exactly what we did with addition and subtraction. Last week we added a number, took the same number away, and left us with our original number. It didn't matter if we added and then subtracted, or if we subtracted and then added. Same here, the same rule applies. Okay, if I divide and then multiply, I get my identity back. Or if I multiply and then divide, I get my identity back. Let's look at it in terms of using variables. So when I divide by one number, then multiply by the same number, we end up with our original number. So here's an example where we have A. That big, huge bar on top is A. So I'm going to take A and divide it by B. So here are all my B's. But I'm going to take that B and multiply it. Whoops, I thought the one thing would go. I'm going to take that B. Oh, for crying out loud, I'm trying to be all fancy on the smart board. There we go. And multiply it by B. And when I put them all together, what do I get again? I get that I should lock my lessons now. Anyway, I get the A back. Okay, this is the A up here. So that was really fancy just to make a silly point. Okay, so when I multiply and divide by the same number, I get the same number back. Now there isn't room on the bottom of your page because their exploratory challenge 1 and 2 is different. So you could just find room on the bottom of page 4 and copy those blue notes and the red notes down at the bottom on the side. And if you want to just neatly cross out what's already there. And the same rules apply. A times B divided by B equals A. We should not be using the X anymore for multiplication because then that looks like another variable. So you can just use the dot, which represents multiplication. So right now you're going to copy the blue and copy the red on the bottom of your note page. All right, so to conclude, let's take a look. So number 1A, this is not in your notes. Let's just do this together. We'll try it together. 12 divided by 3 times what will give me 12 again? Everybody?
3.
F times H divided by H equals 45 times what divided by 15 will give me 45 back? Everybody?
16.
What time divided by R times R equals P? P. I know this seems really simple, but this is building a foundation for future letters. You need to remember that when you divide and then multiply, they kind of cancel each other out, and you get your original number back. Here's the final sentence I want you to copy into your notes. The relationships of addition and subtraction, which we did on Friday, are similar to the relationship of multiplication and division, which we worked on today, because both relationships create identities. And that's the end of today's lesson, but in class we're going to continue to work on something called sprints. But I'm going to stop the recording now.